Hello everyone, welcome to my review of War Thunder. War Thunder is a cross-platform, free-to-play, vehicular combat multiplayer game with action and optional strategy along with in-game purchases that was initially released on November 1st, 2012. It is currently in update 2.9.0.106, also known as Direct Hit. The game has several costs to it. Initially, it's free to play, meaning you don't have to pay anything at all to play it. There is the option to pay for additional items or vehicles in the game that make it less difficult to play while helping you progress faster. Lastly, there's the Gaijin Marketplace. This is a place where people can sell items in the game, such as decals, decorations, and vehicles. As a player, you can buy or sell on the marketplace, and the price for items is determined by the players. There are 3 types of game modes for each type of vehicle: arcade, realistic, and simulator. Arcade battles have more laid-back feels to them, and they also have tools to help you learn the game. In ground battles, you get a penetration assister cross when you're aiming at a target to help you deal more damage and learn the weak spots for tanks. Enemies also appear with name tags over them, identifying their distance and location. The color of the name tag will indicate if they are an opponent or on your own team. An additional plus in this mode is that your vehicle gets a speed boost from what would normally have been its real speed in realistic. In air battles, you also get name tags to show distance and location, and your plane's abilities are enhanced as well, similar to ground battles. However, instead of a penetration assister, you get a lead indicator showing you where to shoot so your shots are more effective. Realistic is less forgiving, and it doesn't include tools to help you play, until you get to higher rank, that is. It's more effective for helping you grind out the other vehicles in the tech tree, which is the method of gaining more vehicles and modern vehicles as well. Realistic battles are more accurate to real-life battles, so there aren't any enhancements to vehicle speed or agility. However, in ground battles, you don't get name tags anymore. Simulator is literally your view from the commander or pilot seat with even fewer tools and higher stakes. It's way less forgiving than any of the other modes, and you have a reduced field of vision. Friendly fire is on, meaning you can be destroyed by your own team or accidentally destroy members of your team, and it has a severely negative impact. There are no name tags for any vehicles, not even your teammates. You have a variety of vehicles to choose from in this game, from early World War II vehicles up to modern vehicles such as the American M1A2 Abrams and the British Challenger 2F. This game also consists of aircraft up to early Cold War such as F-4 Phantom II and MiG-21 Fishbed, as well as helicopters from Vietnam War up to modern, such as the AH-64 Apache. There are also boats in the game that come from World War I all the way to the Cold War era. For each type of vehicle, there are customizations you can make to make the vehicle suit your playstyle or look how you want it to. When you first make an account and enter the game, you're given the choice of starting with air, ground, or naval vehicles from one of the following nations: America, Germany, Russia, Great Britain, Japan, France, Italy, China, Sweden, and, well, eventually Israel. You begin at rank 1 for each country and start with early World War II vehicles. You have to grind out research points and silver lions to progress through the game, adding vehicles and armament to your arsenal. Each country has a tech tree showing the technological development of armored, aerial, and naval warfare. However, at the moment, China and Sweden, along with Israel, do not have naval tech trees. Most people choose to stick with playing a couple of countries, while others decide to grind all of them at once. There are also items you can use to help you grind, such as wagers and boosters. These help you gain points needed for grinding research points, which is basically the in-game's version of experience points, or silver lions, which is the currency you use to purchase vehicles and repair vehicles. There's no real way to win this game since it's an MMO with no specific ending. You could theoretically consider getting all the vehicles in the game to be winning or finishing, but that could take an extremely long amount of time depending on if you pay the snail or not. To those of you who don't know, the logo for Gaijin, which is the company that developed War Thunder, is a snail, so players say pay the snail when purchasing vehicles in premium account time. It's a good idea to test drive vehicles before deciding to grind them or play them, as they all work differently. War Thunder has several controls, some of which can seem intimidating, due to constant updates adding more types of ordnance or features to the game. Many of the controls are not necessary for you to set up because they're for more modern vehicles, which you won't be starting with unless you decide to pay for one as a premium vehicle. This can be relatively expensive, for modern vehicles costing $50 or more just for one vehicle. Approximately every 3 months, there are events to receive special vehicles, titles, or decorations. Generally, in these events you need to meet certain specifications to assemble a vehicle from parts gained while completing tasks, or complete daily tasks to get points that eventually get you a vehicle. During these events you will need to dedicate more time to gameplay if you want to get the rewards. Now let's look at the War Thunder experience, starting with the fun stuff. Something nice about the game is that it's mostly realistic with a highly accurate damage modeling system. It has a game mode and vehicle type to suit pretty much anyone's gaming style. And there's an immense feeling of accomplishment, or wow, this game's so cool, when you and another player whom you may not know work together to do something. It has graphics settings allowing you to play on multiple kinds of devices, and it has an in-depth modeling system, which is kind of a double-edged sword, seeing that it's the only game with such a detailed damage system. Now let's go over some of the not-so-fun stuff you're still gonna have to deal with. If you want to get a modern vehicle, you're gonna have to spend an immensely long amount of time grinding or pay money. You can only research vehicles from any nation with that nation's specific vehicles. Even though Gaijin may be paid quite a bit daily through micro to mega transactions, their servers still aren't the best, with patchy spotting systems and occasional rubber banding, also known as lagback. There are also some features Gaijin brings into the game that many would consider questionable at best. Overpressure is a replacement to hull break, a previously game-breaking feature that prevented light vehicles from surviving high-caliber shots. Now, if a high explosive shell lands near a vehicle with exposed crew, the whole crew dies, which seems both unfair and unrealistic. My experience in the game has been rather back and forth. The grinding is difficult no matter what mode you play, unless you purchase a premium vehicle or account time. I honestly enjoy the realism of the game, and the fact that I get to play in historic vehicles. I recommend starting out in arcade mode, which teaches you the basics. If you think you'll want to play realistic mode, you'll want to switch relatively quickly, because after a bit of time playing arcade, it can be a difficult adjustment. If you stick in arcade mode for a bit too long and you're playing tanks, I recommend you start out with low-tier realistic battles before moving to more modern vehicles you have researched. If you're playing air, I recommend waiting until you get to jets. They're more responsive and give you a little of a control boost like you get from arcade. I also recommend that you go into custom battles and fight against bots. I recommend this game to people who like World War II era vehicles, or people who are willing to spend more time or money for the game. So, that's War Thunder. I think it's a pretty fun game, and you should look into it a bit more if you want to know more. Keep in mind, you won't be getting to play most of the vehicles used in this video for a while, unless you're either a god at the game, willing to pay more for them, or you're in it for the long haul.
Anyways, if you found this video interesting even in the least bit, please do consider dropping a like. It really helps out my channel quite a bit. If you're coming here from one of my other videos or slightly interested in my content, do consider subscribing and turning on notifications, because although my upload schedule seems to be taking a form this month, afterwards it's probably going to get pretty random starting in December, because I am still a student and all. So if you want to know when I upload something that's probably interesting, I would recommend turning on notifications. Anyways, that's all from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and whatever you watch after this. Remember, don't be like me. Be unique.